In a cottage spun from moonlight and nestled between whispering willows lived an old woman named Alara. Her hands, though wrinkled with age, moved with the grace of a dancing butterfly. She was no ordinary woman. She was the weaver of dreams. Every night, as the world hushed and children drifted into slumber, Alara would sit at her loom. This wasn't just any loom. Its frame was carved from ancient silver birch, and its threads shimmered with the light of forgotten stars. With each pass of the shuttle, she wove stories for the sleeping children of the world. For a little boy in a bustling city, she'd weave a dream of flying on the back of a friendly dragon, soaring over skyscrapers that tickled the clouds. For a young girl by the sea, she'd create a dream of discovering a hidden cove where mermaids sang and pearl-white seahorses danced in the gentle currents. Her dreams were tapestries of joy, courage, and wonder, designed to bring smiles to sleeping faces and lightness to waking hearts. The threads she used were gathered from the happiest moments of the day: the golden glint of a morning sunrise, the soft blue of a kind word, the vibrant pink of a shared laugh, and the deep indigo of a comforting hug. She would pluck these shimmering strands from the air and spin them into spools of pure delight. The cottage was filled with these spools, glowing softly like a constellation of tiny captured stars, each one holding a promise of a beautiful adventure. But Alara was not alone in her moonlit world. A shadow lurked just beyond the reach of her cottage's warm glow. It belonged to Griselda, a mischievous little imp with eyes like hot coals and a grin that stretched from ear to ear. Griselda wasn't truly evil, but she delighted in chaos and mischief. She was bored of sweet dreams and happy endings. She craved the thrill of a good scare, the jolt of a sudden fright. Her greatest desire was to get her hands on Alara's magical loom. Griselda believed that dreams should be more exciting. She imagined weaving nightmares of creaking doors, shadowy figures, and endless twisting hallways. She collected threads of a different sort: the gray fuzz of a forgotten worry, the thorny tangle of a small frustration, and the slick dark green of a tiny fib. She longed to replace Alara's golden threads with her own murky collection and watch the world of dreams descend into thrilling, spooky chaos. One night, as a silver moon hung high in the sky, Griselda saw her chance. Alara had just finished a particularly lovely dream, one of a child discovering they could talk to animals, and had stepped outside to gather some fresh dew for a shimmering silver thread. The cottage door was left slightly ajar. Quick as a flicker of a candle flame, Griselda darted inside. The magical loom pulsed with a soft, warm light, beckoning to her. Its beauty was mesmerizing, and for a moment, Griselda almost forgot her mischievous plan. Her impish nature quickly took over. She clambered onto the stool, her spiky fingers reaching for the loom. She pulled out a thread of deep, murky purple, the color of a bruised plum spun from a child's tantrum earlier that day. She tried to weave it into the beautiful tapestry Alara had left behind. But the moment her thorny thread touched the loom, the magical machine shuddered. It rejected the thread of negativity, flinging it back at Griselda, where it dissolved into a puff of harmless purple smoke. Griselda scowled. The loom was more powerful than she thought. It seemed to have a will of its own, a protective magic that only responded to kindness and light. She tried again, this time with a thread the color of mud, spun from a tiny bit of envy. Again, the loom whirred and buzzed, refusing to accept the strand. It was like trying to mix oil and water. The loom's pure magic simply wouldn't allow her dark threads to corrupt its creations. Just then, Alara returned, her hands cupping a droplet of moonlight-kissed dew. She saw Griselda at her loom, and her gentle eyes widened, not in anger, but in understanding. "Ah, little one," she said, her voice as soft as moss. The loom weaves what is in the weaver's heart. It cannot create fear when it is filled with love. Griselda, caught in the act, froze. She expected to be scolded, to be chased away with a broom, but Alara simply smiled. She walked over and sat on a stool beside the imp. "You want to weave, don't you?" Alara asked gently. Griselda nodded sullenly, her pointed ears drooping. "You feel that dreams should have a little more spice?" Alara chuckled. "Perhaps you're right. Not all adventures are calm seas. Sometimes, a little challenge makes the victory sweeter." She picked up a thread of brilliant scarlet, shimmering with the energy of a race won at the schoolyard. "This is courage," she explained. Then she picked up a thread of deep, stormy gray, spun not from sadness, but from the thrill of a thunderstorm watched safely from a window. "And this is excitement. It's not about weaving fear, little one. It's about weaving bravery." She showed Griselda how to weave the scarlet thread of courage alongside the stormy gray of a challenge. On the loom, a new dream began to form. A child wasn't just flying on a dragon, but was navigating it through a thrilling, swirling storm, holding on tight and laughing with exhilaration as they emerged into a clear, sunlit sky. It wasn't a nightmare, it was an adventure. Griselda watched, fascinated. Her understanding of dreams began to change. It wasn't about scaring children, but about empowering them. She realized that a dream of overcoming a challenge was far more interesting than a dream of simply being chased by a formless shadow. Alara then offered Griselda a small, empty spool. "Why don't you try?" she suggested. "Find a moment of excitement from the day. A thrill, not a fright." Griselda thought for a moment. She remembered watching a squirrel make a daring leap from one tree branch to another. A seemingly impossible jump. A tiny, shimmering thread of silver brown appeared in her hand. It pulsed with the energy of that brave, heart-stopping leap. Hesitantly, she offered it to Alara. Alara smiled and helped her thread it into the loom. Together, they wove it into a dream for a child who was nervous about learning to ride a bike. That night, the child dreamed of soaring through the air, just like that brave little squirrel, and landed perfectly, feeling a surge of confidence and joy. From that night on, Griselda became Alara's unlikely apprentice. She still loved a bit of mischief, but now she channeled it into creating dreams of thrilling quests and exciting challenges. She learned to gather threads of courage, resilience, and daring. She helped Alara weave dreams where children solved tricky riddles, climbed impossibly tall beanstalks, and outsmarted clumsy giants. Her nightmares had become adventures, and the world of dreams was richer for it. The gentle old woman and the mischievous imp worked side by side, one weaving the soft, comforting dreams of peace and love, the other adding the thrilling threads of adventure and bravery. Together, they ensured that every night, the children of the world had dreams perfectly suited for them, some as gentle as a lullaby, others as exciting as a roller coaster. And in the cottage spun from moonlight, the magical loom glowed brighter than ever, weaving a perfect balance of comfort and courage for all the sleeping hearts it touched. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the world of dreams. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more magical tales. We'd love to have you in our community. Until next time, may your dreams be beautiful and brave.